I want to talk about the beloved Latricia Green from Detroit for a moment. Latricia was a victim of domestic violence, and her story matters to me because it reflects what leaving actually looks like when someone has been in a long term abusive relationship. When she decided to leave, it wasn't impulsive or careless. It came after many years of experiencing, knowing exactly who she was dealing with. By the time Latricia decided it was time to start over, she had already endured a lot, a lifetime, at least 20 years of abuse. She reached a point where she wanted something different for her life: space, peace, the freedom to pursue her own goals, and leaving that relationship was a part of that decision. And like many people in her position, she took multiple steps to try to make that separation real and permanent. Now, keep in mind, he's 16 years her senior at this point. That included trying to get a restraining order not once but twice. And what's important to understand is that this process wasn't simple or immediate. She wasn't initially taken seriously, and because the threat felt so real to her, she went back again to try to get protection in place. In the state, the restraining orders had to be served at the victim's expense, and hers was never formally served. But even without the paperwork in place, the reality was already clear. He wasn't respecting her wishes to end the relationship, and therefore he continued to violate those boundaries. He showed up at her job, he made threats, and she took the steps to go to the hospital administration where she worked and asked them to be moved to a different location because she was aware of the danger she was facing. And this wasn't denial. This was someone actively trying to protect herself while navigating a system that can be fragile and slow and incomplete. And that fragility matters because when protective measures don't work as intended, it absolutely increases the risk of the survivor. And what Latricia's story reminds me of is how important it is to talk about prevention and awareness and take people seriously without judgment, without condemnation, and without guilt. Those things don't keep people safe, they often just keep people silent. Leaving doesn't look like it looks in the movies. It's layered, it's complicated, it's weighted against fear, finances, work, children's safety, and survival. And when people do decide to leave, what they need most is a space to tell the truth about what they're experiencing and support that actually meets them where they are. I hope that we can keep creating room for these stories to be shared honestly and without shame or blame, and that we get better at listening when people tell us what they're living with. I hope we keep talking about prevention and awareness in ways that actually help instead of relying on judgment or guilt, which is often keeping people in silence. This is the conversation I want us to keep having.